Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to the Tony Harvin Network YouTube channel. If you like, hit that subscribe button listed right here. After you hit the subscribe button, if you want to receive all notifications of videos that come out on this YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and select all after you hit the notification bell. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. I greet everybody upon this evening. We're here with another story on the so-called pastor. Another story on the so-called pastor. If you are new to this YouTube channel, if you like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to receive all notifications of videos that comes out on this YouTube channel. So we're here to talk about a pastor, a so-called pastor. Let's get that clear. A so-called pastor who's been sentenced to life in prison. Time and time again, it seemed like I always state, it seemed like every week is either 2 or 3 so-called pastors either being arrested, convicted, or sentenced to a long-term prison term for sex crimes that they had committed. We're going to share the screen in a bit. So this pastor, so-called pastor, was sentenced to life for sexually abusing a 6-year-old child. We're gonna share the screen in a bit. All right. So it should be right here. Let me know if y'all can see it. So this is the story right here, man, of a so-called preacher. Sentenced to life. You know what I'm saying? In prison for sexually abusing a 6-year-old child. He was sentenced to life this past Wednesday. He was arrested in July 2019 at the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Received a report that he sexually abused a 6-year-old, according to a news release in the case. His name is Bicente Velasquez Morales, 47 years of age, was convicted on April 19th of sexual battery upon a child less than 12 years of age and lewd and lasciviousness, molestation, excuse me if I don't pronounce that word correctly, upon a child less than 12 years of age. Morales was sentenced to life in prison on both charges. So here it is. You have a so-called preacher being sentenced to life. Another one. You know what I'm saying? They caught another one. What up, Sister Davis? Hello to you too. What up, Robert Tucker? He says so-called. He says God is exposing these false preachers. Absolutely. So he was sentenced to life. This man in his 40s. Like I said, I don't understand what does a grown man have to do with a 6-year-old in a sexual way. But you got these demons and devils. They have some type of fantasies about kids and whatnot, which is sickening. Now he got to spend the rest of his life in prison. And we know that those in prison do not like individuals like that. What up, Maxwell? What up? So it says they notified the child's mother that the so-called preacher was sexually abusing her daughter. So let's take it here right quick. Now, imagine the authorities or somebody telling you that somebody is sexually abusing a child. I don't care how much Holy Ghost you got. It don't matter. It don't matter if you've been baptized, right? Listen, you're going to want to go in, for somebody violating your child, because for one, you probably feel as though on the inside of yourself, like, man, I wasn't there to protect my kid. And on the other hand, it's like this grown man who calls himself a pastor or whatever, and there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot, who sexually abuse kids and things like that, lure them in to get comfortable and whatnot, and then try to complete their mission on the child. There's a lot of them out there. So definitely be aware of those type of individuals. Absolutely. All right. So furthermore to the story, So they said the news release stated that Morales used his position of trust within this family to take advantage of a 6-year-old child. Now, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. You know, listen, that. It couldn't be a more clearer statement than that. And there's a lot of them out there. They use their so-called position like that, you know what I'm saying, of trust for the people. What up, Kalani and Elias? You know, they use that. You know, they get in these positions such as a pastor, a coach, a teacher, you know, anything like that, whereas though people will have to gain some type of trust, you know, closeness to them. You know, listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. It's going to take a long time for me to get comfortable with an individual or individuals around my children. It don't matter who it is. At the end of the day, that's just me as a person. It takes a long time. You know what I'm saying? I don't even trust family members around my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Just a few. That's it. Only a few. Probably my mother, my sisters, and probably that's it. Maybe my aunties. Anything after that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't recall anybody in my family besides my mother, my sisters, you know, my 2 sisters. I got 4, but 2 of them looking after my kids. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't got anything against male figures, but I will never, ever, never allow nobody, you know what I'm saying, in my family that's a male figure to babysit, watch, look after my children, you know, ever. You know, if I got to call out of work, that's what I have to do. Or if it's an emergency and I got no choice, you know, I'll be sure to keep a video camera on my daughter's phone. You understand? So that's that's just how I am. You know, my daughter's got a phone. They got a tracking device on it and stuff like that, and you know, looking to get more things of that nature. You know, so that's how I do. I don't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? The daycare's down a block from me, probably like a 5-minute walk. Where my daughters is at daycare, and I'm just barely trusting them. I'm right here next to them. And I'm barely trusting them at the end of the day. You understand? You says, what happened to your Georgina Flemings? Oh, this is a different channel. This is a different channel. You know, this is my second channel. She's the moderator of the first channel. I don't think I put any moderators on this channel yet, you know, because I just like when I really started to put out content on this channel was like, I don't know, probably like 2 months ago, really strong, really heavy. So I haven't put no moderators on here yet. You know, I'm still thinking about it and things like that. You know, we'll see. You know, it's most likely going to be the same people at the end of the day. What up, Quanta B? What up? Elias says, this is why future robots will take place for parenting. No more trusting humans. He said robots. You said robots is going to take the place of parenting. No more trusting humans. Wow. That's something deep. All right. It says, but the victim was taught which parts of her body shouldn't be touched by anyone other than the doctor. Wow. So the parents or the mother taught her daughter, like, you know, which is rightfully so. You know, you teach your kids, listen, only mommy and daddy touch you here to bathe you, to, you know, heal you if you got a wound or something like that, if you're hurting and things like that. You know, we are only to touch you here. After a certain age, no, you do your own thing, washing up, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody touch you there unless it's your nana, and that's it. No grandpa. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an emergency. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they watching this. You know what I'm saying? No grandpa. You know what I mean? Bathe daughters. You understand? Unless it's an emergency, unless there is no, if the man got work or something like that and things like that, then there's no other choice. You know what I'm saying? There's no other choice and things like that. Matter of fact, call my sisters over. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Call a female figure over. That's just how I am. I don't care who there is. Grandfather, uncle, cousins, no way. You know what I'm saying? No way. Not at all. I just don't feel comfortable at all. I don't care who there is. You know what I'm saying? So they told the little girl, you know, which parts that should not be touched, I guess, by strangers, but only by a doctor. Rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? So that's good teaching right there. You know, let me know if anybody out there besides mommy, daddy, you know what I'm saying, grandma, nana, you know, and trusted figures in the family, they can touch you there in a way of like bathing or healing you if something wrong with you and things like that, and clothing you. But if anybody else, a stranger, because at the end of the day, I don't care if the person is a so-called pastor, a coach, a teacher, they still a stranger at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's what she did. So they said she confided in her brother and mother that she'd been touched inappropriately. So the little girl, 6 years of age, smart, 6 years old. Now, you know, you got these women out here who wait till they're about 35. They've been touched at the age of 10, 7, 12 to 17. We did stories about stuff like that. They wait till they get old to say something. You know what I'm saying? But here's though, you got a 6-year-old who knows better. 6 years of age. You know what I mean? Because if she didn't say anything, now who knows how long it would have continued on and really traumatized this little girl at the end of the day. You understand? So smart of this young girl, 6-year-old. She says her mother then alerted the police. Absolutely. And another thing is, you know what I'm saying? My daughters are not allowed to hug anybody. Listen, we ain't playing hugging nobody in school, none of that. You know what I'm saying? It was a time you could do stuff like that back in the day. But in these days, oh no. I don't know what these kids are watching at home. They probably watching Cardi B. They probably watching Megan Thee Stallion and all that other nonsense, you know, with these rappers talking about sex, and these parents are playing it, and these kids are listening to it. They still can play in the little child's subconscious. You understand? They still can visualize that rap video that Cardi B is shaking the tail feather and her husband is grinding on her. You know what I'm saying? And the child takes after that. And guess what they're going to do? Oh, wow. I seen this on the video, and I think this is rightfully so. And they're going to do it in school. You know what I'm saying? You hear about situations like that. You know what I mean? So that's how I am. There's ain't no hugging going on. Would my little daughter want to hug somebody? No. You understand? I don't care if we're in front of the teacher, the other parent. No. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happening. Not when I'm going to get you. You understand? Not when I'm dropping you off. No way. So that's me. Ain't none of that going on. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Fleming says there are biblical qualifications for a pastor. These individuals are imposters. He says all these individuals you're posting are biblically disqualified to be a pastor. That's funny. Yep. You said I agree. I don't have any children yet, but I wouldn't even let some family members near my children, especially my son. Sister David says that's true. A lot of children are crippled by fear because these creeps that molest, try and frighten children, threatening to kill their parents. Kudos to that 6-year-old for her courage. Absolutely. You know, a lot of them creeps. I believe Evangelist Taj from the Truth of God taught on this before. You know how you know they scheme and they plot on these kids. They got the same pattern and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen it time and time again with these so-called preachers. It's always seemed to be a so-called preacher. You know what I mean? Touching on little girls, little boys, and stuff like that, you know? So it's crazy. I mean, we hear about teachers. We do. We hear about coaches and whatnot. But you got these creeps that would stoop to a level so low. You know, they already had that hidden agenda of wanting to do things sexually to a child, you know? And they be like, wow, you know what? I'm going to get into a position of a pastor where people trust me, or I'm going to get into a position of a teacher. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to waste my money just so I could be put in a position to be a teacher, so I could fulfill my sexual desires with a child. You know what I mean? A lot of them get busted for child pornography all over the computer, phones, the tablets and whatnot, gaming system. It's crazy. He says, Tony, check out the video with the vigilant who stopped the man touching the girl on the bus. Remember watching this last year. Let me see. Can we check that out? I'm thinking about it, because I don't know about the copyrights to that. Let me see if I can check that out. You says the vigilant who stopped the man touching the girl on the bus. Let's see if we could catch that right quick. All right. Let's see. All right. Man who stopped man touching girl. Let's see if we can find that on here. Man point. Nah, I can't find it. I mean, if you know the link, or if you know where to find it, you could send it to me. All right. I would appreciate that for sure. So, back to the story at hand. Let's see what else they say. They say the child told her mother that she had been assaulted 3 times by Morales, stating the pastor had digitally touched her, and I don't even want to say the word. You understand? I'm just going to say inserted. That's it. While at Morales' home, according to the affidavit in the case. Why would you allow your 6-year-old to go to the house of this so-called pastor, number one? You understand? You felt that comfortable to allow your 6-year-old child to go to the house of a stranger because he called himself a pastor? No way. I don't even want my children spending the night out at nobody's house because I don't know what type of demons are over there. You know what I mean? I don't do that. Listen, it ain't like before. We could go to our friend's house. Listen, play Sega Genesis, play Nintendo 64 all night. Everything is all good. We up in the morning playing football, basketball, eating and stuff like that, having sunflower seeds on the porch, talking, play fighting, play wrestling. And these days, you can't do that no more. You can't do that no more at all. You understand? But I don't understand why would they allow their 6-year-old daughter, you know what I'm saying, to go to a man house. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they had to have left her alone with him on certain occasions, maybe numerous occasions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's an error right there. That's something you just don't do. You know what I mean? You felt that comfortable that you had to leave, or you could leave your daughter around somebody who called himself a pastor and you trusted them. You know what I mean? That's kind of, you kind of give the parent the blame somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You should know better not to do that. You should know better, for sure. It says at the time, Morales was a pastor at the House of Restoration Ministry. All right. It says taking advantage of a little girl is never acceptable. It will not be tolerated in our community. This assistant state attorney, Kate Metz, who prosecuted the case. Wow. It said based on the strength of the victim's testimony, defendant's own statements in the investigation by a detective, we were able to hold this defendant accountable and get a dangerous, manipulative predator off the street. Wow. Listen. Amen to that. Amen to that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely amen to that. He says, what up, finally aware of you? He says that could have been prevented. That child now scarred for life. Talani says, no, my daughters can't go to no family members or friends. Child's innocence now gone. What up, MHW? He says on a brief break. He says, growing up, we weren't allowed to do sleepovers because grown-ups leave children unattended. You're right. I remember those days. Chilling at my boy house. You know what I'm saying? We was unattended, His mother worked as a correctional officer in Jersey City for Hudson County Correctional Office, but all we did was play video games all night. And sometimes we'd play on the turntables, and that's about it. There wasn't really nothing crazy going on when I slept over. We had sleepovers and stuff like that, So I can't really remember a crazy time in the house except playing video games, John Madden, 007, Mario Kart, and stuff like that. Street Fighter, throughout the night. Even at my cousin's house, it just was video games all night. So and these days it just seems so different, with the trust. He says, and now can't nobody spend the night at my house because they bring bad spirits in the house. Kalani says, Eli says, the moment these demons pastors try to leave their demon father, he devil comes with so much anger and exposes them. Appreciate that at Flemings. What up, B.E. Holy? He says, these perverts likes child's innocence addiction. He says, read my comment at 432. Let me see. I read that. I think I read that. Yep. What up? He says, just like back in the day, never understood why people would let their son spend the night at Michael Jackson's house, superstar or not. It wouldn't be happening at all. Sister David says, back to work. Love y'all. Much love back. Well, I don't understand that. I don't understand that either. Parents probably seem fascinated. Wow, this is Michael Jackson. He's the star. He's the king of pop, and stuff like that. And they was mesmerized, just like the R. Kelly situation. In that situation, it seemed like he was paying off some of them parents. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Some parents just don't care when somebody else is a celebrity of a status like R. Kelly or Michael Jackson or something like that. They're real fascinated and blinded by their hidden agenda. Now, I don't know too much facts about the Michael Jackson story, but I heard him state that, he likes sleeping in the bed with little boys and stuff like that. Listen, I find that kind of weird. I find that real weird. Why would you like, when he was alive, why would you like sleeping in the bed with kids that are strangers? I don't get that. You understand? I really don't get that. Now, that was the weird part of Michael. That was one of the weird parts of Michael Jackson. You would enjoy sleeping in the bed with little kids. Listen, you're the king of pop. You know what I mean? Right is right and wrong is wrong. I think Gino preached on this. It's a wrong way to do wrong, and it's a right way to do wrong, right? So if I'm Michael Jackson, I'm not in the bed with no kids. You know what I'm saying? You the king of pop, whatever. Listen, there's tons of women out there who want you. Tons. You understand that? It's tons. You turning down women to sleep in the bed with little boys? You understand? Even if you just laying in the bed, you know what I mean, on a positive tip, it's still something weird about that situation. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to do wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do wrong the right way. You know what I mean? Not the wrong way or the weird way. You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to get me caught up in a legal system like that. You know what I mean? No, not at all. So I really didn't understand that with Michael Jackson, that he liked to sleep in the bed with kids. Fleming says, no, you didn't. The one about Vigilant, scroll up further up. You skipped my mistake. Vigilant. Let me see if I can catch your comment. Oh, he says type Vigilant who stopped man touching girl on the bus. All right, we'll do. We'll do. Let's do that in a bit. All right. Let me see if I can catch it right quick. Let's see if we can present this, show it on video. Let's see if we can find it. All right. Let's go here right quick. Let me see what you wrote. You says type vigilant. All right. Let me see. He said, who stopped, man. I think I just seen it. Do you see any video? Let me know if you see. Let me know if you see the video. All right. Just let me know if you see the video up there at Fleming's. All right. You said the Catholics are known for this unforgiving act. The Holy States. David says he was a total stranger. Sad money can buy a child's innocence. You're right. You're right about that. You know, money talks, especially with these parents, with these vulnerable parents out there. You know, it's Michael Jackson, the king of pop. You know, if the man offered you a couple of million just for your child to stay with him, and the man was a billionaire, you know what I mean? So a couple of million wasn't nothing. A lot of these parents were biting the beat. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. All right. He says, I have two comments at 4. You said you skipped the first one. 432. Let me see. You says check out the video with the who stopped the man touching a girl on the bus. That's at 4:30. At 4:32, he says type that in. Then at 4:32, he says that could have been prevented. The child now scarred for life. You know? So, and then it says child's innocence now gone at 4:33. Okay. Let's try this again. All right. Try it again. Do you see the video now? Is it coming up? Let me know if it's coming up. You know? I really don't see it. You know? You said and put on the bus. It says on the bus. All right. Are you talking about this one with the so-called pastor? Are you talking about that one? Let me know. I think we played that one. Silky Smooth says some parents don't want to tell the truth, or they love the pastor too much to say anything. Even I was called a sissy after being touched sexually. B. Holder says not going to say Michael did it or didn't do it, anything with kids because he was never arrested or charged and found guilty. Lies says the king of pop shouldn't have slept with many women. He should have slept with many women, not not many kids. You know, I mean, you know, Gino preach on it. It's a right way to do wrong, and it's a wrong way to do wrong. You know, so I definitely that's preferred. You said this world is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Maxwell says that's weird. Period. And R. Kelly called himself the Pod Piper. David says very weird. Something wrong with that? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So there was another situation right here on YouTube. I'm not gonna play the video due to copyrights and stuff like that. You know, this title right here, when it says local dad beats up jogger accused of inappropriately touching his 9-year-old son at a bus stop. You know, I seen this story, I think it was yesterday, I think, you know, with this jogger who was a so-called pastor. He would jog around an area of where the bus would stop and drop the little boy off every day. Every time the bus came, the jogger, the so-called pastor, would be there to greet the kid, you know. And one day, and he touched the kid inappropriately. So one day, I guess the little boy told his father, told his mother and stuff like that. And the father, he just parked out there and watched and had enough evidence to go pulverize this so-called pastor. You know, so that's why the guy looked like that in the video. He listen, he really laid it on that that so-called pastor. And that so-called pastor was arrested also. So you got the business handed to you, and you also got arrested. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if I'm a father, I commend that. I commend that. You know, listen, repent later. Or repent. Listen, I'm sorry, Lord, but I feel as though he deserved this. You know, may he never touch a kid again, or even think about touching another kid. You know what I mean? A good old beatdown like that, you know, hopefully will prevent him from touching other kids. It's sad to say, but sometimes it takes something like that for these guys to stop. You know what I mean? Listen, it's not right to touch kids, whatever. They being told it's not right. And then when you come across somebody who pulverizes you, now I bet you won't put your hand on that stove again. You understand? You ain't gonna do it no more. That's for sure. You says, did Michael die of cardiac arrest? I don't know. You says, did Michael die of cardiac arrest? I mean, we could look it up. You know what I'm saying? We could definitely look that up. How did Michael Jackson die? It pops right up. Okay. It says cardiac arrest. All right. It says on June 25th, 2009, I remember that day, he was in the gym. Michael Jackson, and they announced it over the radio. It says Michael Jackson, one of the most commercially successful entertainers in history, dies at the age of 50 in his home in Los Angeles, California, after suffering from cardiac arrest caused by a fatal combination of drugs given to him by his personal doctor. Wow. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Wow. That's something deep right there. Dying of cardiac arrest. It says Page sent a lawyer. It says, do the courts care about the kids or money then cover it up? A lot of that goes down where I'm from, Nebraska. Paid a lawyer and the court's off. So Davis says his doctor gave him too much medication. Wow. I mean, me personally, I don't like medication. I like the vitamins. I like the supplements, the fruits and stuff like that. But sometimes, you know, you have to take medicine. Sometimes, you know, if, you know, you're really going through, like, some people are diabetic and things of that nature. And I believe they need insulin or something like that. Is that with diabetes? I think, you know, some people need asthma pump. They got asthma. You understand? Some people need certain things in their bodies that requires medication. You know, I mean, sometimes it's like that. But that doctor should have known better. You know what I mean? Of the overdosage that he was given. You know, I mean, you're a doctor, you went to school and all this other stuff, and you make a mistake like that, you know? I remember being prescribed promethazine one time back in 2011. The doctor gave me a prescription for promethazine, you know, what the rappers use as lean. You know what I'm saying? and they putting the ice and they drinking it and they smoking weed or smoking cocaine or dope with it. You know what I'm saying? I had to take just a teaspoon of promethazine back in 2011. Man, that thing messed my nerves up. Just a teaspoon. You understand? A teaspoon. And just look at these rappers having a big cup, styrofoam, with ice in it, drinking promethazine, calling it lean. I can't even handle a teaspoon of that. You know what I'm saying? I had it a few times. I said, no. Know what I mean? We just going to toughen this out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to run, whatever, sweat it out. You know what I'm saying? Pray. You know what I mean? We'll get better. You know what I'm saying? So I left that alone. I knew better. Listen, promethazine doesn't work for me, nor does NyQuil at the time. So I'm like, no. All right? You said it's such a bad name, cardiac arrest. He surely is arrested. He says the medicine his doctor that Michael Jackson was given was supposed to help him to sleep. Wow. So Michael Jackson couldn't sleep? Wow. Listen, Mike. I mean, if a person that's Michael Jackson, a billionaire, you know what I mean? You mean to tell me you couldn't get somebody to massage your scalp, massage your shoulders, all that good stuff that can put a person to sleep? You know what I'm saying? You had to take the route of getting medication. It had to have been that bad. I know a lot of people suffer from insomnia. It's hard for them to go to sleep and things like that. Relax. You know what I mean? Michael, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with Michael at the time, so I really can't really call it too much. You understand? He says, I don't even like NyQuil. He said, I don't even like NyQuil. He says he wasn't properly monitoring Michael Jackson when he was giving him the medicine. He left him unattended for a while, didn't apply CPR correctly. Jackson was 50 years of age, like Elvis, when he died. Elvis, 50 years of age. Honestly, I think 50 years old it's still gonna be young if you're really working out and keeping yourself fit and whatnot and things like that. He says these rich people be sad. I agree. But these are the people that a lot of the world look up to. These people have influenced some of the world, and some of the world has been following these people. You understand? They think these people are invincible. They think these people are top gods and whatnot, just because they're famous and rich. They're human just like me and you. They may be popular, cool. They may be rich. That's fine. You know what I mean? But a lot of times they get besides themselves. He says, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. You put Silky Smooth. I'm on methocarbamol for spasms in my spine. Spasms. Now, I can remember having a back spasm. You know what I'm saying? That's from sports and whatnot. And them things hurt. Them things hurt badly. You know what I mean? Them things felt like it was paralyzing me. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting spasms. So I wouldn't hope that on anybody to have spasms, especially back spasms. Very painful. He says, especially for cardiac arrest, 50 is young. Yep. 50 years of age. You know what I'm saying? He says, it does paralyze me at times. Wow. Yeah, I've had it for a couple of minutes for overtraining and whatnot, not resting my body. So I know the feeling of spasms, and I really hope and pray you overcome that for sure. All right. So that was the story today. You know, a so-called pastor was sentenced to life in prison. You know, that's good that the authorities are getting these creeps off the street for sure. So if anybody out there who tune in now, later on the replay, a week from now, years from now, listen, if you are a victim and you are afraid to speak up, listen, speak up. Because you might help another child. You might help somebody else in the long run. You understand? Fleming says, all the videos I found on people's channel, but it was apparently a rapper that saved the girl. Oh, a rapper. You know, I mean, that's cool. He did that. A rapper. Let's see if we can check it out. Let me see if I can find it. It says a rapper. Let me see if I can type that in right quick. A rapper saves girl from. Let me see if I can get that. Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it. All I see, the title is this brave man thought sexual assault of 15-year-old girl. NYPD declares the rapper a hero. This is 6 years. This is 6 years ago. That happened 6 years ago. I'm looking at. All right. David says they think their money can buy anything. Too bad for them. Can't buy them eternal life, salvation. Can't impress God with their money. All vain. Real talk. Wow. You cannot impress God with your money. That's a good quote right there. That's a good quote. Thank you for that quote, for that inspiration quote that I'll probably use later. That's a good, deep quote right there, for sure, you know. So we're going to conclude this live. I thank everybody for coming on this live on this YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. Be on the lookout for more videos on here. You said, I was just trying to let people know, don't trust people with your child. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a time when I would go outside as a kid. When I would go outside as a kid and the neighbors was trustworthy. You know, you could go up the block, you go way up the block, and neighbors up there know you, know your mother. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's little Tony, you know what I mean? Valerie's son, he's playing around, football, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that these days no more. You can't. You go 10 blocks down, and somebody knows your parents, and they watching you from a distance. All right, he doing all right. You're on block 9. You're walking back now. Somebody else that know you. And these days, no. Can't do that. He says, wait, read that before you go. He says, hey, Tony, there's a pastor in Africa that's encouraging people who are married to use birth control pills and to have sex regularly. I mean, what are you trying to say about that one? What are you trying to say about the usage of birth control? That a pastor, he's encouraging people who are married. Well, from what I remember, is be fruitful and multiply, right? Be fruitful. I mean, marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled, right? You know what I'm saying? It's undefiled. I mean, some women can't have kids. Some people use birth control, the shot, you know, the Jimmy hacks and all that other stuff. You know, they do. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, about in marriage, I mean, I'm not gonna listen to some preacher man, you know, if I'm married, upon what to do with my wife. You know what I'm saying? When that time comes, I'm not gonna listen to the preacher man as far as like him encouraging me, man, you should use birth control pills and whatnot. Negro, is none of your business what me and the wife is doing in the bedroom. You understand? If we could have strawberries and whipped cream in the bedroom, that's none of your business. You could encourage that. That's none of your business. You understand that? So that right there, it should be none of that pastor's business. You know what I'm saying? To give encouragement to married people, even if he's married. You understand that? What the man and the woman, the wife and the husband do in their bedroom, that's on them. That's their business. You know what I'm saying? That's them. Nobody else business. Nobody else is peeking in, looking, you know, oh wow, why are they doing that in the bedroom? It's none of your business. Whatever covenant they got going on with God and stuff like that, you know what I mean? One flesh thing, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's on them. he said, yes, strawberry. You bugging. He said, yes, strawberries. He says, meaning he wants to have sex all the time as much as he wants, but he doesn't want kids. Oh, okay. So you're saying that pastor is encouraging them to have sex or whatever and not have kids. I mean, that's something that the married couple got to pray on. You understand? Me personally, I believe that that's the business between the wife, the husband, and God. You know what I'm saying? That's between them. You know, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? No pastor or whatever. If he don't want to have kids, if he's using birth control and stuff like that with his wife or whatever, got the shot, she got a tubes tied, whatever, that's on them. That's their business. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. You know, I know as me, when I get married, listen, ain't nobody. I ain't telling no family member. I ain't telling no close friend. I ain't even telling YouTube. You understand that? What is going to go? What's happening in the bedroom? You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that here. You know, Elias says, "Are you saying for him, the pastor, to have sex with them?" He says, "What should a pastor care about you and your spouse's sex life?" That's funny. Elias says, okay, so he says that people should take the pill to prevent her from being pregnant. Well, some people want kids, you know, but the foundation of this is like, why is that pastor worrying about, you know, the business of a husband and a wife? You know what I'm saying? If they decide to not take the pills and want to have kids, that pastor gonna get upset. You know what I mean? I don't get it. That is just weird. Them people, listen, no disrespect, but them preachers in Africa, those so-called preachers in Africa, man, they doing some weird stuff over there. You know what I mean? They drinking urine, eating dirt, eating grass, eating snakes. You know what I'm saying? They're doing all this weird stuff over there. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't know. That sounds like some type of witchcraft, voodoo, and all that other nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Eli says, "Man, I was shocked to hear that. My mom was falling for that." He said, "My mom was falling for that." Wow. He says, "I know that's right." He said, "Two person." Absolutely. And you might listen. The only time you discuss business like that is when you are getting counseling from a God-sent preacher. You know what I'm saying? Who is trustworthy, who's been married for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You understand? You discuss your situations with that man of God. You know what I'm saying? And with that, if he has a woman of God, his wife, and stuff like that, so they can give you good advice, good counseling, and things like that. Because some married couples they discuss their sex life in counseling. You understand that? Which is between the pastor and them. That's it. Which nobody will hear ever besides them. You know what I'm saying? In reference to their conversation. You know what I mean? Fleming says a pastor can only tell me not to cheat on my spouse. Other than that, what a spouse do to their spouse is absolutely none of his business. Absolutely. Oh, that's a good conversation right there. That's a good topic. That's a good topic for sure. All right. I appreciate all y'all for coming on this live, man. I'm Tony Harvin. You know, we talked about the pastor being sentenced to life. You said that pastor probably lusting for the woman and trying to ruin the marriage. That's a good point right there. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's a lot of them freaky leaks in the church. It's a lot of them freaky leak pastors in the church. They freaky leaks. You know what I mean? They're really freaky leaks. You know, they're looking at the women who are married. Man, I want her. You understand? There's a lot of them creeps out there. You understand? All right, we're gonna end this live. So I thank everybody for tuning in. You know, I'm Tony Harvin. I'm signing off. I hope you all have a wonderful day. You know, I might go on my other live. You know, if I do, I'll catch y'all on there if you decide to log on and log in and come into the chat room. Once again, Tony Harvin, I'm signing off. May you all have a blessed day. I'm out. Peace. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to the Tony Harvin Network YouTube channel. If you like, hit that subscribe button listed right here. After you hit the subscribe button, if you want to receive all notifications of videos that come out on this YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and select all after you hit the notification bell.